back to a new stream. Today we are gonna start a new project. We finished previous week our Twitter clone, and it was a success. If you didn't see that, I definitely encourage checking that out. But today we start new, we start fresh, and we're gonna develop Spotify clone as well in React Native with Expo with all the good stuff. Yeah, let's wait a couple of minutes until people drop by. So let me know in the chat where are you coming from, where are you joining us from, and shortly in a couple of minutes we will get started. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we're gonna develop a Spotify clone in React Native, and we're gonna use the next technologies. So for the front end, we're gonna use React Native, also with Expo. Expo is a set of tools on top of React Native, and it's much easier to get started and to start a project with Expo because it has a lot of things already done. And for these purposes, we are using Expo, but that doesn't mean that we have any limitation with Expo, because anytime we want the bare minimum React Native, we will be able to eject from Expo, so we're not limited on that side. That's why I suggest everyone starting a new project in React Native, start first with Expo, and if you are missing some libraries that in Expo, for example, I don't know, some very specific hardware libraries that needs to run natively, I don't know, some camera filters or you name it, then you'll be able to eject. As well, we're gonna use TypeScript, and TypeScript is under the hood is the same JavaScript. Got it, like under the hood. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna use TypeScript, and for the navigation, we're gonna use React Navigation 5. For the backend, which is not in this week's episode, we're gonna get into the backend during the next week. We're gonna use AWS Amplify, and I'll get into more details next week. So yeah, that's about the technologies. Victor, hi, I'm from India. I'm a great fan of you. Hello, Victor. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining from India. Hello, I'm joining from Nigeria. Hello, Nigeria. Hello, people from Nigeria. Alexandra. Hello, Alexandra. So, okay, let's get started. And the first thing that we need to do to start a project in using Expo is run this command, expo init, and the name of a project. I suppose that you have already Expo installed. If you don't, check out on their website. It's pretty easy to install Expo CLI on your machine. I already have, and I'm not gonna get into that now. So open up a terminal. Let's go to a folder, and here let's say expo init Spotify clone or Spotify. Expo will ask us which template it should use. It has a couple of them, like blank with TypeScript, tabs with TypeScript, and we're gonna use these tabs with TypeScript. It has like several example screen. It has React Navigation already installed. It has TypeScript, everything set up, and it makes our life a lot easier. We will just need to clean something. So select tabs with TypeScript and wait a couple of minutes until it sets up a project. We should work on your jokes. You don't like my jokes? I'm very sad about that. Hi, I'm from... Okay, that's an interesting name. Barranquilla, Colombia. Hello, hi, Pedro. So, until we are waiting Expo to set up a project, yeah, let's see what will be our next steps. yeah, first of all, let's wait to open that project, and we'll get into the details in a moment. So guys, where did you find about this stream? On Reddit, on Facebook? Okay, so it seems that our project has been installed successfully. Now I would like to open that project using my ID of choice, which is WebStorm. So let's remember that the folder is WebStorm projects, and the name of the project was Spotify. So I have it on the other screen. Let me open it. Make it smaller to fit on the screen. Come on. Yeah, I think that looks good. So from the WebStorm, let's do open. And go to WebStorm projects, Twitter clone, no, Spotify, and open. Hi Borja, thank you for everything. Yeah, let's check in this window. Alexandra is saying that she watched the other videos and the clones edition are very cool. Which one did you like most, Twitter or Instagram? So yeah, the project was opened in a WebStorm, and here we see the default files that it generated. It has a folder assets for the images and fonts, components for some example components that we are using, constants with some default colors and layouts, hooks, navigation for all the navigation code. We're gonna get into details shortly in this folder, into navigation. And the last one is screens, which defines the code for each screen in the application. So let's open the terminal and do yarn start to start the development server of Expo. It will open a window like this, from where we can press run on iOS simulator. A new subscriber, Alina, thank you. Welcome to the squad. Hi Krishna, great work, great content. Thanks a lot. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope you find it valuable. So yeah, our Expo is building the JavaScript bundle, and shortly our application will be opened in the simulator. And we will be able to see like what's the default application that we get just by running Expo init and choosing that that template. Alexander is saying Twitter went smoother. I liked it more. However, the Instagram one was a collab with Lucas. Will we have more collabs in future? Yeah, I agree. Twitter went smoother, and yeah, project by project it goes better. And collabs with Lucas. Yeah, I hope to be able to work again with Lucas, but he is quite busy with university at the moment. I think you know better than me. Hi Alina. Hello. I'm sorry, I'm bad with pronouncing names. So I see everyone, guys. Don't worry. If I don't pronounce your name, that means that I can't read it. So yeah, we see here on the simulator that the application was run. We see a bottom tab navigator with two tabs, tab 1 and tab 2. And whenever we press on each one, it switches the tab, and we can see that the content as well switches. The same with the title, like tab 2 and tab 1. Yeah, let's get back here. The first thing that I want to do is to change the color scheme from light mode to dark mode, and that will automatically change the template as well. So it's very simple. Let's just open up.json from the root folder. And for user interface style, we will define it as dark, and we save it. I don't think it will refresh automatically for this change because it's in app.json. It's I think we need to rerun it or even rebuild it, but that's only for this specific change because no, let's close the application here and run a iOS simulator. Would this video be available for download? This video will be yeah, on my channel, so you will always be able to check it. I'm not sure if probably you are able to download videos from YouTube. Sorry, we are not able to see the bottom half of the Tab Navigator. Thank you a lot, Alex. I almost missed that. Okay, so I think that way it's much better. So I can, yep. Right now you should be able to see the bottom of the screen. And we changed the mode from light to dark. So right now we see that our bottom tab navigator is with dark colors and the background as well. So that's a good start. And yeah, let's move forward. Yeah, the first thing that we will adjust is the bottom tab navigator. And I'm talking here specifically about these four icons like home tab, search, your library, and premium. So let's go ahead and start changing our code to have these four tabs there. So let's close our app.json. Let's close this one and open our navigation, and the file will be bottom tab navigator. So here we see the bottom tab navigator component, which has two tabs, tab 1 and tab 2, and the initial route of a navigator is tab 1. This is the default route. So let's start. The first one will be home. The name is home. We will leave the component to tab 1 at the moment, but we will change to the home screen. Yeah, for the tab bar icon, I prepare the icons here. I already searched them. But if you want to check other icons and choose, you can go to this link, icons.expo FYE, and there you see the whole directory of icons from where you can choose your icons. So for the home, I have a type of home. I need to import it from come on, where is this one imported from? Yeah, here from expo vector icons. I need to import the typo, then which evil icons, material community icons, and font awesome. evil icons, material community icons, and font awesome 5. And yeah, we will not need the, but we might need, so let's not delete it yet. Yeah, let's split this import into new lines because that line is pretty huge and it doesn't fit on the screen. So for the first one, instead of using the custom component tab bar icon, we're gonna use the typo. The name of the icon will be home, size 30. Yeah, we see here like what it was before, so it was size 30 by default. Let's copy the styles as these ones. What else? And color. Yeah, and color we need. And let's not forget to close that tag. So let's try to save. Yeah, we see our home icon here on the bottom, and yeah, it seems that it works. The next one is search. Yeah, for the icon as well, we will delete this one, and we're gonna use the icon. Where is it? Yeah, 1 second. It's evil icons search. So component evil icons that we just imported, name search, size 30, style, and I have autocomplete for all the others. Yeah, size 30, for the style margin bottom 3, and we give a color. That's about search. Let's copy and paste this one more time for the library, or how is it called? Your library. And it's material community icons library music outline. I didn't find this specific one because it's custom, but I think that's not the point. Like I went with the easier route, like I chose an icon from what I already have. So the name is your library. The icon is material community icons, and the name is library music outline, something like that. And the last screen, let's copy and paste this one. It's called premium. Yeah, I already see some errors there. Premium, but we're gonna fix them shortly. And it's from Font Awesome and called Spotify. Font Awesome 5. The name is Spotify, right? Spotify. Save. Yeah, our error disappeared magically, and we see all our tabs here: home, search, your library, and premium. That's pretty similar with what Spotify has, except like the custom icon that we have for the library. Yeah, and also we can move from screen to screen. It's the same component that they provided us from the template, but shortly we're gonna modify that template and provide custom ones. Yeah, let's check what people are saying. Better, thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Please suggest me some good course for JavaScript. Let's do that after this live stream. Write me a message and I'll get back to you. Okay guys, so let's check yeah, our plan here. The bottom tab navigator is done. Let's set up the home screen and refactor some of the code that they provided us before moving forward. So yeah, from the screen, let's rename the tab 1 screen, rename to home screen. Yeah, let's go here and we're gonna, yeah, most probably we're gonna delete everything and we're gonna do start from scratch, like not to get confused. We can provide here a text hello home. Why I'm in not found screen? Come on. Sorry guys, I open a different different component. I should open the home screen. Yeah, I saw that something is going on. And here yeah, let's delete everything and have a text hello. We don't need this one. Yeah, we're gonna import text and view from React Native. Let's copy them from here because I don't want to make it more confusing. Yeah, that's much simpler. Like we're gonna style them ourselves. Yeah, and in our bottom tab navigator, let's check how we are importing it. Yeah, so for the home screen, we are importing it from screens and the name was changed to home screen. Save. Yeah, now is better. And this is our home screen. The text is not visible because it's most probably either on the top or the color is, yeah, the color is black, definitely. So I can pretty quickly color white. Yeah, and we see hello here. So we have our yeah, bottom tab navigator. We have our home screen. Yeah, I think we can move forward. What do you say, guys? So the next step, before getting into that, I would like to mention that in React, everything is components. Everything is made up of components. So when we start building an application, we should think about how we should split our application in smaller components that will be easier to write, easier to maintain, and the code, you'll not have like one file of like 10,000 lines of code, but rather multiple files with a small amount of code that will be very specific to what it needs to do. So that's why we need to separate everything into components, and the smaller component from the home page that we see here, like this is the home page. Yeah, I can put this screen to see the whole page. Yeah, the smallest component that we can see here that we can build is the album component. So an album component is this little square which contains the album cover and the names of the artists that are included in that album. So once we build this album component, we will be able to build this category component that we see here, which will include like the title and a list of multiple albums. Once we develop one component, one reusable component of the category, of a category component, then we're gonna be able to put multiple components of this category into the home screen and have like multiple categories. Like, yeah, I can't read this Dutch name, but for example, made for you, the other category is something different, and so on. So I think you get the idea. And we are gonna start with um, creating the album component, which will display, as I said, the album cover and the artist that are playing there. So for the inputs, like what data do we need in this component to be able to render this view? Is album ID, yeah, for internal tracking, image URI to be able to display the image, and artist headline, which will be displayed here. So we will keep that in mind when we will build our component. But first of all, let's go into our components folder. Let's create a new file. No, actually, let's create a new directory. I like to have a separate directory for each component where I split it into, for example, index and style, and everything is in their directory. So album, and here we will create a file index.tsx. We import not export, import React from React. Can you hear very loud my keyboard? Because so far I was working on my PC, on my laptop's keyboard, but now I had to switch. And not from React, but from this React. And now let's define our functional component. Album equal to props, and here we will return probably a view with this view will contain image of the album, and it will also contain the artist's headline. Then we will be able to export default album. Okay, let's import the view because right now it's not there. Import view. We will also need image, and we will need the text component from React Native. And we need to define the type of the props. So export type album props. And as we said, we will need input the ID of album, which will be a string. We will need image URI, which will be string, and we will need the artist's headline, which again will be string. So we say that this props is of a type album props. It will help TypeScript to make sure that we actually are receiving ID, image URI, and artist headline. So yeah, let's go ahead and display the image of the album using the image component. Source will be URI props.image URI. We're gonna need to send some styles, but we're gonna create the styles pretty shortly. And for the text, we will send here props.artist headline, like this. Yeah, I think that's everything that we need right now. We will come back and style them in a moment, but right now let's import this component and display on our home screen. So let's go to the screens, home screen, and let's import the component. Little zoom in needed. Do you mean for the code or for the emulator? So yeah, let's import album from components, album. Yeah, and here instead of a text we will display the album, and we need to send there the code. You mean the code? Okay, let's try to do that. If I can remember where to look. Preferences, font. Yeah, but I think it's not here. It was in our material. Come on, editor. Yeah, I think it's not from here. Yeah, it doesn't change from here because I'm using the define in the color scheme. Yeah, here. Yeah, let's try with 14 or even 16. Apply. Does it look better now? Yeah, I'm not used to to work like this, but yeah, we'll try. So yeah, here we'll need to send the album data, which yeah, which I prepared somewhere, not to waste any time. Let's copy it from here, put it here. Guys, if anyone is following along live, I can paste the yeah, this code that I prepared in the chat. But if you're following after the live stream, it's gonna be available in the repository, so you're gonna not need to type all of this. Yeah, so for the album, let's send the album here, and we will need to change some things into the type because we are not receiving directly ID, image and artist. We are receiving them as part of the album. So if I'm not mistaken, it should be like this. And from the props we will, no, I don't want to confuse you. So props.album, props.album. So yeah, from our home component we are sending the data as props, as properties, to the album component, and in our album component we receive them yeah, as props, and we can use them like it's magic. I don't know. So let's save, check what we have there. Probably we don't see anything because again we don't have any styles and the text by default is black. So let's define here style will be styles dot image. For the view we will have styles dot container, and for the text we will have styles dot text. Now let's create these styles file in the same folder as our index, like in the album folder, styles.ts. And let's not forget to import it here. Import styles from styles, like this. So right now let's go and define our styles. We will need the style sheet from React Native, and now we will be able to define the styles as style sheet create. We have container, we have image styles, and we have text. Okay, for the text, we know that we want to define the color, which will be, if we look here, it's gonna be like a gray. Let's go with just a gray. Let's save, and we don't see anything. Yeah, one thing that I like to debug the UI is set background color to red, and I will see if it's displayed, because we are not exporting styles. Of course, export default styles. Yeah, now it's better. So we see there our text. Let's define the width and height for the image. Yeah, we see that our album container has a fixed width, and it doesn't expand or shrink based on the screen size, but it will always be the same width. So we will define this fixed width on the container of the album, and the image will be 100% of that container. So yeah, the container will have, for example, we'll test, I don't know, like with 300. I'm not sure if that's enough, and the image will have width 100% and the height 300. Yeah, probably that's a lot. 300, 150. That's probably better. Yeah, that's better. Let's delete this red background because it pushes my buttons. So we have our image, and we have our yeah, the headline of the artist, Taylor Swift, Cardi B, Objective-C, and we need some space between the image and the text. So on the text we will say margin top 10 pixels. Yeah, probably it will be enough. Yeah, I'm probably not the best one on the design part, but yeah, you get the point. I think it looks pretty similar. It's just the sizes are different, so that's why it's a bit confusing. If we look from the distance, I would try to increase the size of a container, because here we see that it fits like 2 albums on the screen. Here we have a bit more space, so let's try to go with 200, and here 200. Yeah, might be better actually. So our album component is done. Based on the data that we send to it through props, it will display the album cover and the text. So what's the next component that will use this album component? Yeah, you guessed it, that's album category component. And with the red one, we see this album category component. And what does it has? It has a title of the category, and then a list a horizontal list which will be scrollable of album component that we just created. So yeah, like we create components of smaller components, and that's how we keep our code manageable. Yeah, I suggest let's just jump into it and start implementing these album category components. So what it will need as inputs, like what props we should send to this component for it to be able to render all the data, is definitely the title that it needs to display here, and an array of albums that it will display in this flat list. So let's get started. How do you feel, guys? Is it manageable? Am I going too fast, too slow? Should I get into more details? What do you think? Yeah, the same way we create a new folder for this component in our components folder. It's gonna be called album category. We create the index tsx. We import React from React. We import, probably we will need text. Yeah, I think only text from default components from React Native. It's so much better when following a video that you explain what you're going to do first and then implement it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to have some structure into it, because yeah, I can understand that for people that are just starting with React Native, this can be a bit confusing. So let's try to keep it very simple and structured. Okay, let's define our album category component here. Album category, we will receive a props, and we will return again a view, and here we will say here goes the title of category, and after that list of albums. Let's export the album category, export default, don't forget that. Yeah, we forgot to import the view. Okay, what else? Let's define the prop types. Export type album category props, and here let's check what an album category will have. It will have a title which will be string, title which will be string. Why did it with capital? It's like this, title, because I saw it in the presentation. And albums, which will be an array, of albums, of the album component. So instead of defining it here like this, like ID which will be string, I can do that here, but I will need to define this structure, the type of album, everywhere where I use this album. So here in the album component, like here, and so on. So I don't want to do that. That's why I will check. Yeah, we have a file types called, and here we will define the standard type of an album, and we will be able to import this type and use it everywhere where we need this type. So in order not to write it down again and again, so album will have and we define that already here. We'll have ID, image URI, artist, and so on. So let's paste it here. Let's go into album index and refactor to include that type. Album from types, and we delete this custom type definition to the type definition that we import from here. And now in our album category, we don't need to define it again. We can simply say that albums will be an array of album that we import from types. Okay. Let's now define our styles file, styles.ts, import style sheet from React Native, const style sheet, no, const styles equal to style sheet create, and here export default styles. In the index, let me close everything. In the index of the album category, we will import the style, import styles from styles, not CSS, just styles. And yeah, it's imported. Right now, just to see that this component is actually doing something, let's quickly display that the title of a category, and after that we'll get into the list of album, because there it's a bit more interesting. I need to explain some more things. So the text will display the props.title, and it will have styles.title. And let's not forget to define the type of our props. Yeah, this autocomplete sometimes messes up. Yeah, the album category type that we defined on the top will be the type of the props for this component. Let's go into styles and define the styles for the title to display it with a different color. Title color is gonna be white. Yeah, right now the red arrow disappeared, and we want to display this album category in our home screen. So instead of displaying one single album, we will actually rename it to album category, and we will import it from album category. Yeah, here let's define it like this, and it needs a title, and it needs the albums, title and albums. I also prepare this album category here. Let me copy, and we don't need this album already because we have this data prepared like dummy data. It's not that important because in the next week we're gonna integrate with a backend, so all this data will come from the backend. But right now I prepared this dummy data. So if you're following live with me and you need this text, let me know and I'll drop it in the chat. However, if you're following after the live stream, it's gonna be available in the Git repository. So yeah, we have the album category. We need to send the title, album category dot title, and for the albums, let me split it into multiple lines so you could see it. For the albums, we will also have album category dot albums, and our albums is an array list of each individual album, like ID, image, and artist headline. Let's save, and now we expect to see only the title of album if we don't have identifier album has already been declared. Where? That's where const album equal props album props. Okay, yeah, I see. In the album here we import the album type from types, and we call our component as well album. So let's rename it our album component and export album component. Yeah, we see the title happy vibes here, and that's, if we look into the home screen, that's the title of our album category. Yeah, probably it's not styled the same as in Spotify, but we're gonna do that shortly. Do we need ID for the category? I set the ID because I didn't know if we will need it. Most probably we will need it when we will render multiple categories in order to have this ID as the key. So yeah, that's some technical details of a flat list. But for now we don't need it. Yeah, thanks for the question. So let's continue with our album category. And here we need to display the list of the albums. So in order to display a list of something, we will use the FlatList component from React Native. Let's use it here. And a FlatList will display, yeah, as I said, like a list of components. So the first thing that it needs, it will even say us, it will need data. Yeah, doesn't have attribute data. And this is an array of a data to be rendered. So our data to be rendered is props.albums. This is our array that we want to render. Then it also needs a function called render item, and it will be called for each specific item, and it should know like what should I render for each item in this array of albums. So render item, we will receive the item in this function as, yeah, as a parameter to the function. And what we need to do with this item, we need to render an album component. And for the album, we will send the item. Not sure if that's clear enough, guys, but as I said, render item will be called for each element in our props.albums. So if we'll check a look at props.albums, this is an array list of album data that has like ID, image, and URI. So each item will be one specific album in this list, and then we send this item to our album component, and it knows how to render it. Okay, that's with render item. The next thing is key extractor. This is like for each item, what would be the key that React will use for caching and our internal operation. And we will receive here as well item, and we just have to return item.id, and we'll say like the ID of each the key of each item will be its ID. And one more things, let's say that this flat list will be horizontal. Just writing horizontal is the same thing as writing horizontal equal to true, so let's keep it horizontal. And if I is not the object in evaluating item.id, this one. I think it doesn't need to destructure it from here. Yeah, it doesn't need to destructure. So we already see the horizontal list of albums, and we are able to scroll them. Yeah, that's everything you need to display a list of of components, like a feed. If you need it vertically as a feed, like you set it like this, and you have like a Instagram or Facebook like feed, you have horizontal like this. And yeah, one more thing, there is a way to hide this scroll bar that you see on the bottom. Yeah, Lucas was teaching me how to do that, but I forgot. But let's say FlatList React Native, and let's check the documentation. Scroll bar something. I don't think I will find it. Yeah, I think it's not the most important thing right now. Yeah, let's go with this yeah, scroll bar that we see. Right now we see that we need some spacing between albums, and we will also need to adjust the styles of the title. So for the spacing for the albums, I will go into the album component for the styles, and I will add some margins to the container itself. So margin, let's add 10 and see how it looks. Yeah, I think it already looks better. Let's check the original one. Show horizontal. Oh, someone, Alexandra said, show horizontal scroll indicator false. Okay, let's try that. In the album category, show horizontal scroll indicator. Yeah, that's a long name. False. Save, and it disappeared. Thank you a lot, Alexandra. What would I do without you? So back to what we were doing. Styles of albums. 10. Yeah, I think it's good. However, I would like to decrease the width of the album component. Yeah, can't get that perfect one. Yeah, right now it's 2, barely we see the third one, and the same thing is here, like 2, and we can see the beginning of the third one. Yeah, the spacing between I think is good. We can scroll. Do we need yeah, someone else is saying show horizontal scroll indicator false. Yeah, thank you a lot. Overflow hidden, overflow none. Why do we need the overflow hidden and none in this situation? Yeah, maybe I'm not aware of that, or I'm missing something. Yeah, the next thing, let's go and style the title of the album category. And we're gonna open the styles of album category. Title, we definitely need to increase this font size. Let's give it 24. As well, bold. Font weight bold. Save. Even bigger, 28. Yeah, probably. I feel that it's even bigger, but 30. Let's go with 30 and that's it. And let's add some also margin to this text. Margin 10 to start from the same as here. We have some margin on top. No, actually I will give a margin to the container, because the container of album should have margins to be able to separate between two album categories, and we will see that shortly. So let's give it a 10 and make sure that we are using it here. Styles dot container. Save. Yeah, I think now it's better. Yeah. So, are we done with, or do you want to decrease the the container size here? I want to decrease it because we again lost the third album here. Yeah, 55, perfect. For the next 5 minutes until I again change it. So album category component is done, and we see it displayed with the title of a category, with a list of albums, and that's a reusable component that we can use it multiple times and give it different data, and it will display them accordingly. And why we need that? We need that for the next step. Wait a second, I messed up something there, right? Okay, never mind. Yeah, we need that for our next part that we were gonna develop, which is the home screen. So the home screen is a vertical list of categories. Yeah, we see here recently played. We see here a category that I can't read because it's in Dutch, and we see here made for you and multiple categories down below. We already have this component, and we just need to display a list of them, like multiple categories in a vertical list. So yeah, we will need the album categories, which will be an array. At this moment it's gonna be hard-coded, and in the next week we're gonna take this from the database, from the backend. Yeah, let me drink some water, stay hydrated. How are you doing, guys? How do you feel? Please let me know your feedback, like what do you feel, and am I going too fast? Is it clear, or do you have any questions? Is it boring? Is it interesting? I'm really eager to know and to improve. Okay, let's get into it. Home screen. So let's close everything, have everything clean. Okay, we have our home screen here opened, and at the moment we're displaying one album category. First of all, let me check. Yeah, I prepared as well this data set with multiple album categories. And yeah, the file is a bit bigger, so let me just I don't know, create a directory data in the file album categories.ts, and here paste in my data, which previously we had just this one album category. Right now we have an array list of them, like with multiple IDs and stuff. It will be interesting to see how we will implement multiple horizontal scroll views into one vertical scroll view. Yeah, we're gonna see that shortly, and I hope we're not gonna mess it up. So let's export default this array and import it into our home screen. We will not need this album category because we have that array that we can import from album categories from data album categories. So we have our data now, similar to our album category, where we have a flat list. We will have similarly a flat list in our home screen. Flat list. Firstly, I need to import it, of course, from React Native. Flat list. Flat list. So what does it have? The first thing that it needs the data, and our data will be the album categories that we have in the file, like the dummy data that we imported. And we need the function render item that will tell us how to render each category item. So how to render an item? One item will be one album category. So we have already imported this component album category, and each item will be an album category. So it needs a title, which we will take from item.title. Let me again put it into multiple lines so you will be able to easily see. This autocomplete messes up. So it needs title, and the second thing, it needs albums, to know which albums to render. Come on, albums, which is item.albums. Again, this item variable that we receive in the render item is coming from our data and will represent each specific item in our array. So in our array, one item is this one. So when we say item.title, it will give, for the first item, it will give the happy vibes. Item.albums, it will give these albums, which is an array. So I hope that's clear. Let me know in the comments if it's complicated. So the next things are the key extractor. The key extractor will be the ID, and yeah, Alexander, here is the ID of a category that I was speaking about that we will need later. So each category has its own ID, and we send it as the key for the flat list. What else? I think that's it. That's the minimum that we need. Let's save. And here we see a vertical list with multiple categories of albums that we can also scroll horizontally. So Alexander, that answers your question. Yeah, the photos are the same because I didn't have time to find separate photos, but yeah, they're different data. So for example, yeah, we see that the titles are different, and yeah, they're displayed. We can scroll and everything. I think it looks pretty similar to Spotify. Might be not like pixel perfect, but for the purpose of this live build, it's more than enough. You can of course go one step beyond and adjust it the way you think it will look better. Yeah. Okay, before moving forward, I see that our title is tab 1 title. What do we have as a title there in Spotify? Let's go into Tab Navigator. No, into the index. Or no, even, yeah, Tab Navigator. um, yeah, here, tab 1 title. Let's rename it to home. Let's save. Yeah, and here we see home. So our home screen is done, and to give a brief review of what we managed to do, yeah, we started from the smallest component that we can see on the screen, like that makes sense to create a separate component, because yeah, we can say that the image is a separate component, but that doesn't make sense because it's not logical. So the small components was the album component. We developed this component, then we moved one step above and developed the album category component, which was using that album component and rendered a list of it. Then we developed the home screen, which rendered a list of the album categories component. Yeah, that's a lot of components. But I think that splitting them this way and not putting everything in one file, because that's also an option, and I see a lot of developers doing that, but I don't want to teach you that way, and I want from the beginning you to understand that splitting everything into smaller components that are very manageable. For example, we go into an album and we see like how many, like 5 lines of code. We go into album categories, again like 5 lines of code, and it's very specific, like it has a title, it has a list of album component, that's it doesn't have anything else. And yeah, this way the code becomes much easier to maintain in future, and you'll save a lot of time. How do you feel, guys? How is it going? How much I love React Native. In Android Studio, it would be a horror to implement this. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I worked with Android Studio, and it was driving me crazy. Like, you had a lot of boilerplate that you read from tutorials that nobody understands what they are doing, but you need to write them there for it to work. So you don't even question like, why is it here? But here I think that once you grasp the concept, which is not that hard, like it's pretty much self-explanatory and easy to understand. Like even with this flat list, like give me a list of data, give me a function to know like what to do with each specific data, and I will do that, and that's it. Like you don't need anything else. Where is that? Oh yeah, here, key extractor. No, I don't need it here. Why didn't you tell me, guys? I need it for the flat list, not for the album category. I was looking like I'm missing something. Something is wrong here. Now, yeah, now it's better. Yeah, it didn't give us an error, but that's for React Native to know how to cache it and how to re-render when needed. Okay, guys, what's next in our plan for today? Are you tired already? Is it good? Should we move forward? Okay, the next one is the album screen. The album screen will be the screen that we are gonna be redirected once we click on a specific album, and it will contain yeah, let's already speaking components. It will contain a header component, which will be the image of the cover of the album, the name of the album, creator, how many likes, a button to play and pause the songs in this album, and underneath it will have a flat list with songs. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it and start defining these screens and setting up everything, because it's gonna be a bit of boilerplate. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing that we will need a new screen, and it's gonna be called album screen. I forgot to give it. No, not renaming. Vadim, focus. File. Album screen.tsx. So here, let's import React from React. Let's import view and text from React Native. Let's define the component const album screen, and let's just return for a simple text with color white. Hello from album screen. Let's export default album screen. What you don't like here? A resolve variable. It shouldn't be a variable. Oh, I don't need the brackets. Do you plan on implementing the model-like view for displaying the current song? Yes. That's after this screen we're implementing that one. The widget that displays the current song. Okay, we define our very basic album screen. Let's get into our navigation and open the bottom Tab Navigator. And here, first of all, let's delete this tab bar icon because we are not using anymore. It's safe to delete. And go to our tab 1 navigator, which currently has only one screen, home. So this tab is a stack navigator, and currently has only one home screen. So we will want to add one more screen here. So let's copy and paste the screen. Let's rename it to album screen. The component will be album screen, which we need to import. Let's check if it imported correctly. From screens, album screen, yep. And the title will be Actually doesn't have a title, but let's start with just album. Oh, okay, we defined this screen, but we never redirect to this screen. So whenever we go to the album screen, our project will know what to render, but we need to say like when to do that. Like to create a link, a hash ref, if you are coming from web development. So we need to do that whenever we click on a single album. Let's open index here. Yeah, I will transform this simple brackets to curly braces because we will need to add multiple, we need to add a function here. So we will need to add the return statement and wrap this around brackets like this. Then we need to wrap our whole component into a component that will be able to detect touches. And in React Native, there are a couple of them. They start with touchable, and they're called like touchable native feedback, touchable opacity, touchable highlight, touchable without feedback. And that's all components of the same type that are used to detect like clicks and touches, but they give like different feedback. And we're gonna use touchable opacity, touchable without feedback, because we don't need any visual feedback whenever we press on an album. So if we had like touchable opacity, when we press on an album, it would decrease the opacity, so you know that you pressed. But in our case, we don't need any feedback. So we wrap our whole view, we wrap our image and text into this touchable without feedback component, and let's put them back here. And the next thing is that on this touchable without feedback, we can declare on press, which will be a function on press. And let's declare this function here, const on press equal to arrow function. And here let's first of all console warn album pressed, and also let's say which album. Come on. Props.album.name or title or artist headline. React children will expect to receive a single React. That means that our touchable feedback wants only one children, and we can't give two children. Let's wrap our view in this touchable, because it's most probably it will work because it's only one component, and I hope that our styles will not mess up. Yeah, when we press, we see album pressed, Taylor Swift, and we see that it's this one. If we dismiss and press on this one, we see Post Malone, which is this one. So now we are able to detect clicks on each album. So what do we need to do when we press on an album? We need to redirect to the album screen and send there some parameters, like some variables, which will be the ID of album. And that way we know like on which album page we need to land. To do that, to do the navigation, we will need the navigation reference and a reference to the navigation. And because we are using functional component and not class component, we can easily get this navigation using a hook. Use navigation, and we import this. Yeah, it doesn't save it here, but we import use navigation from React Navigation Native. Yeah, from here. And this will give us a reference to our navigation, which we can use here. Let's delete the console warn. Navigation.navigate to our album screen. This is the name of a screen. Yeah, this is the name of a screen that we declared in navigation, bottom tab navigation here. So it should be album screen. I don't know why it says that does not match parameters. Album screen. Yeah, let's check. Maybe that's some. Yeah, hello from album screen. It works properly, but I think we didn't declare some types for for that screen. So in our types TSX, in the tab 1, which is our home tab, let's declare our album screen, yeah, as undefined. Let's save, and here, come on, you should work. Yeah, I don't know why this red arrow is not going away. Yeah, and one more thing, we need to send there some parameters like the ID of album will be props.album.id. So that's it with the navigation. From here, let's close. Let's check if it still works. Yeah, it still works. Let's close these files and let's go into our album screen. So album screen, what do we need to do here? Let me show you how do we receive here that variable like ID of album that we just sent when we navigated. However, we're not gonna use it right now. I'm gonna just show you how we can receive it. Yeah, let's convert this again with curly braces. So for that, we're gonna need to get the route. And the same way as we did with use navigation, we will do use route. Hook, we import it also from route, also from React Navigation Native. And this route will contain data about the variables that we sent to this when we navigated to this route and so on. So I will declare a use effect and I will display the contents of a route. And why do I need this use effect? Is to display this data only the first time that we mount the component. So it's not gonna repeat every time we update the props, we update the state, anything else. It's gonna call only the first time. and that's accomplished by sending an empty array to the second parameter of use effect. So let's console log route and see what we have there. Yeah, let's save. Let's open our windows here, clear, and go to the second one. Yeah, we see here the route object. It has like a name, album screen. It has a params key, which holds the ID of album 2, the ID for the album that we redirected. If we press on this one, it's gonna be ID 1. If we go here, it's gonna be ID like 6 or something like that, and so on. So that's how we send variables and receive them in a new screen using React navigation. The thing is that we're not gonna use it right now because we will need to implement a service to find that album with ID in our data. So that's something that we don't actually need, because it's gonna be replaced by the backend, and we'll be able to request the data for this specific album with this specific ID. So I will go with hard-coded data here. Album equal to, let's take it from our data like this, an album, and let's have a look at what data we will need. So we will need as well the image URI. We will need the name of the album, which we don't have it yet. So name will be I don't know, good vibes. The name, yeah, the creator by Spotify. Let's say by, and here Spotify. And number of likes, which will be, yeah, let's say a random number. Okay, that's what it will have. And also it will have an array of songs. So each song will have an image, a title, and the artist. So songs will be an array list of objects. Each song will have an ID. Okay, first one, image URI. Let's take some images from this data. Come on. Okay, image, and what else? Title. Hi on you, and artist. The artist is, yeah, whatever. And let's just copy paste this song a couple of times to be able to see it in our list. Yeah, 4 times I think will be enough. Let's give different IDs. That's pretty important. Guys, are you still here? Are you still with me? How is it going? So yeah, we have these songs. I think it will be enough to display them. Yeah, that page. So what are we gonna try to render first? So the first, I would say that let's start with displaying the flat list with songs, and then we will get into this component and you'll understand why. So this is our album screen, and we need to display a flat list of song list item component. And firstly, let's go and create this song list item, which is the specific item of name, image, and yeah, but in focus, artist. You forgot a comma. I think I already fixed that. It was here. Yeah, thank you. So let's go ahead and create this song list item component in the components folder. Song list item. It's gonna be, come on, index.tsx. Again, import React from React, import, what do we need? We will need text, we will need image, we will need view, and that's it, probably. From React Native, import styles from styles, which we will define shortly. And let's define the component, song list item. It will also have some props, which will be song list item props that we can define right now. The type. So the type will be, we'll have a song variable in the props, because yeah, this is a song. And let's go ahead and create the song type in our types file, the same way as we did for the album, because I'm pretty sure we will need it in multiple places. Export type song. It will have ID string. It will have image URI string. It will have title as well string, and the last thing, artist as well string. And in our song list item indexed, we can import the type, or let's say song from here, and it automatically imports the type song. So okay, let's start with return a view. Our song will have image and two texts. Image cover, title, and artist. So for the image cover, let's do image. Source will be URI props.song.image. Not image, but image URI. And I would like to destructure the song out of props, so we will not need to write props.song and so on. So the way we do that, we say here const song equal to props, which means that song will be equal to props.song. Okay, for the image, we as well give styles.image. Yeah, that's it. For the title, display it in as a text. Song. Oh, now we don't need these props here. Yeah, sorry. So here we need to display song.title. And for the artist, we want to display song.artist. Yeah, why it's not padded like this? Yeah, let's clean these comments and define also the styles for this one. Styles.title, and here style.artist. Artist, like that. Let's not forget to export our song list item. Yeah, let's just create the in our song list item folder. Let's just create the styles file, and then we're gonna come back and style it after we see it on the screen. So for the name, it's styles.ts. Let's import the style sheet from React Native. Styles equals style sheet create, and export default styles. We're gonna come back later here in this file and write the styles for this component. But first of all, let's go into our screens, album screen, and let's render this the component that we just created there. You know what? I would go and take out this data because it's a lot here and it bothers me, and we'll put it into a separate file here, like album details.ts, and say export default, this one. And in our album screen, we can import album details from data album details. We will need it a bit later. Now let's import the component that we created. Import what is it called? Song list item. Song list item from components, song list item, and let's display it here, song list item. And for the song, we will give a first song from our data. So album details dot songs at position 0 with the first song. Let's save and let's go on our screen by pressing on any album, and we go here and we don't see anything because I guess that all the images and the text is displayed with black color. That's why we don't see. Let's close all. Now we can start styling our song list item. And yeah, first of all, the title. Let's style the title saying color is, yeah, it's white. Let's save. Yeah, we see it already here. Hi on you. As well for the artist. Color. For the artist, we see that the color is a gray, not a white. even a light gray. Light gray. I think it, if I didn't mistype it, it should be, no, light gray like this. Yeah, it displayed there. The next thing is our image, so styles.image. It needs a width and a height to display it, so that's why we don't see it at the moment. So width, I don't know, let's say like 50 by 50 by 50. Oh, too small. 100. Yeah, we're gonna spend the next 10 minutes. That's too high. 75. Yeah, we're gonna spend the next 10 minutes getting to a perfect size. Yeah, probably that's better. The only thing is the positioning. So our components are displayed like in separate lines, everything. However, here we see that the image is on the left, and on the right we see the title and the text. To accomplish that, we should think in split this into two separate views, which is a left view and the right view. These views will be displayed in the same row, and after that, whatever is in the right view will be displayed from new lines. So to do that, we need to wrap the two text into a view like this. Now our container has two parts, left and right, and whatever is in the right thing will be displayed like we will style it customly. We need one more thing like style.container, and to display them in the same line, we will set justify content, flex direction will be a row. That's the first thing. Yep, flex direction will be a row. And for the second view, let's define some styles here as well. Styles right container. So let's define it here. And what we see is that the items in this right container has like space above, the same space between them, and the same space below them. So to do that, we have justify content flex space between, or how is it called? Space between. Okay, that's space between, but we need also space above and below, and that would be space around. Yeah, that's much better. And right now we need to increase the size of a song title, yeah, and of the artist. To do that, let's come here and say font size, I don't know, 24. Yep. And is it bold? I don't think so. Let's see how it displays with bold. No, I don't like it. No. And let's define the font size as well for the artist. And yeah, it's a bit smaller, like probably 20 or 22, 20, something like that. Is it even bad? Is it even bigger, this font size of the title? What do you think, guys? Or should I let it like this? Yeah, let's define some margin of the containers to space each individual song from each other. So margin will be 10. And for the image, no, for the right container, we will say that it will have a margin left. Yeah, this is the right container, and we need to add a margin left to have some space between the cover and the names. Margin left, again, like 10. What? Why did I mess up? Is it for because of a margin? Is not a valid style property? Oh, it's not margin, it's margin. Save. I think it's even bigger. 15. Yeah, like that. Okay, I think it looks pretty similar. Like if you want to get to closer to Spotify, like feel free to do so. And yeah, you can post on Instagram and tag me and say that I am a bad UI designer and you're better. I will definitely repost that. But I'm pretty satisfied with what we have right now. So, which means that we are done with the song list item, and we can close it here, and we can go to our album screen. Here, let's delete the text, and instead of displaying only one song, we need to display a flat list with all the songs that the album contains. So we all remember how to do that, right guys? Flat list. We should not forget importing it from React Native. And the first thing that we need is the data, the array of things that we need to display. This is album details dot songs. This is the array list that we need to display. And how we want to display each individual item is by returning a song list item component that we just created with the song, which will be item. Yeah, key extractor will be item.id. This is the ID of each song, and yeah, most probably that's it. Let's also remove this song list item from here and save. And now we should see a list of multiple multiple songs, all the songs that we defined in our data album details. Yeah, to show it better, let's copy some other images, so we will see different images as well. That's just to please my eye. Sorry for that. Yeah, even like this, yeah, it's already better. We see different images, different names, different, yeah, artist 2. It displays everything from these album details. New subscriber, thank you very much. Welcome to the gang. Okay, the first step is done of the album screen, that we are displaying a list of songs. The next thing is the header. If we look here, like our list of songs is on the bottom, and on the top there is this header with the yeah, say it, the cover of the album, the name, artist, and so on. So let's create it as a separate component, and send, let me show you. Components. Let's create a directory. So it's album screen header or album header. Just let's go with album header. Yeah, let's define here the index.tsx. Import React from React. How you doing, guys? Are you still here? Are you tired? Let's continue. It's not a lot of things left, like this header and only the widget, and yeah, we're done with the UI. So album header, props will be album header props. Let's return right now a text header and define some styles to see the color of the text. Export default album header. Let's define the type. Export type album, which will be the album component, but album type that we define in the types folder, types file, and we can import it from types. What else? We forgot the equal sign here. Alexandra didn't expect to watch from the beginning till now from one go. Yeah, that's nice. I'm happy that you're enjoying it. So what do we need else here? At the moment, nothing. Let's now import this album header in our album screen. Album header, album screen, or album header. And yeah, there are two possibilities. Like we could display this album header here, but the disadvantage of this is it will always be visible, and when we will scroll through the flat list, the header will stay always on the screen. And to go around that, our flat list has a property called list header component, which receive album header component, and it will display as the header of the whole flat list. Let's save and hope that it works. Let's go into here. Yeah, I think we need to define it as arrow function, because we need to send to the album header the album itself. So album is the album details. Save. Yeah, I think I messed up with the name, list header component. Let's have a look on React Native FlatList. Don't remember the name of that property. And we'll do a search on the header. List header component. Here. List render at the top of all the items can be a React component class, a render function, or a rendered element. List header component. Did I mistype something there? Yeah, it should be with capital L. That's why. Can find variable text. That's coming from our list header component. Yeah, this text, we forgot to import text from React Native. Save. Now let's press on an album, and here we see header. We see all the songs, and on the top we see the header. Okay, what do we need to display for that header? Okay, the first thing is the image. Let's go start view. Okay, cover image. Then we need to display name, and then we need to display okay, by Spotify, and number of likes, creator, then number of likes, and lastly the play pause button. Play button. Okay, let's import all the things that we will need, which is view. For this view, cover image, that's gonna be an image. Name is gonna be a text. Creator, number of likes as well, text. Play button is gonna be a touchable. Let's go with a touchable opacity here, so you will see the effect of a touchable opacity in action. Yeah, and probably that's it. If we will need more, we will come back. Yeah, let's say styles container, cover image. Okay, let's start with this one, image, and it needs source with a URI. We need to destructure the album from the props to be able to access it easily. Album equal to props, which means like take out the album from the props and save it to a variable. Now we can say album dot image URI and style dot image. Okay, that's good. For the name, yeah, name will be as well here, text style name, and the text inside will be album dot name. For the creator and number of likes, we see that the creator and number of likes are displayed in the same line, which means that we will need to encapsulate them inside the view, because it has a different direction. Like all the items are in separate lines, like image, name, button, but this one has two elements inside. So let's do a view styles creator container, and here the first one will be text, and we'll say by album dot not creator, I think it's we say by. Let's check our data, album details, album by, yep. Is it album title? As far as I remember, album, I think it's name. Yep, it's name here. It's song title. Yeah, I wasn't consistent there, so that's why the confusion. So yeah, let's go back here. Album dot by, next one, text, the number of likes. How is it displayed? The number and then likes. Album number of likes and the text likes. And lastly, the touchable opacity button, which will have a view inside, style play. Yeah, like this plugin sometimes work perfectly. Like it took the play out of a comment, and it suggested me like maybe you want styles.play, and inside text will be let's say play. Is it all caps? Yep, play. Styles.play, no, styles dot, let's say button, and for the text styles dot button text. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we put everything we need here, and the next step would be to create these styles, which will be interesting. Import styles from dot styles, which we have to create now. New styles.ts. As always, import style sheet from React Native, const styles, style sheet create. Yeah, my back is already hurting so badly. And export default styles. But we don't have a lot more to go, so stay with me like 20 more minutes and I think we should be done with the UI. Okay, what styles do we need? Container, image, yeah, let's start with the image and define the width and the height, and I will say that the width would be I don't know, like 300 pixels, height as well 300. Let's save. Okay, 300 is probably too much as I expected. 200 will be perfect. And we want to align it in the middle. So to do so, we will define a property on the container itself that will say like align all the items in the middle. That was the hardest task for me as a front-end developer always, like because there is so many ways you can do that. Align item center. Okay, now it worked. But yeah, so we have the image. All right, let's style the name, album name. And first of all, let's define color white, font size, that's a 30. Save. And it's definitely bold. Font weight. How are you doing, guys? Are you still awake? Yeah, I think it's good. We'll but no, let's do it right now. Image, let's add some margins. 10 will be enough. We can go with even 15. Perfect. Next one will be the, yep, we didn't create styles here. Styles dot creator and styles dot number of likes. Styles dot number of, let's just call it likes, simpler. Likes. Yeah, for the creator, the color will be white, and the same for the likes. Let's save. Yeah, we see them there. Now we need to display them into the same line. So we need to define some styles on the view that has these two items to say that, hey, this should be a row, not like multiple rows. Flex direction will be not column. Column is by default row. 100%. Hello. How are you doing? Yeah, right now we see by Spotify and 38 likes are displayed in the same line. So let's add some margin to the text. 10 margin like this, and to this one as well. Save. I think 10 is too much. Yeah, might be 5. And also the font size is around 24, I guess. Let's have a look. Save. No, too big. 20. Save. Yep, I think it's better now, but I think the color is a light gray and not a white as the same as the name. So here, let's say light gray, yeah, like that, and the same for the likes. Yeah, that's already better. And the last thing is styling the button. Let's go ahead and do that. And we have here styles button. And button text. The styles for the button text will be pretty simple. We will need to just display it with a color, probably light gray. Font size. What's the font size? It's a 24. Is it bold? Yeah, it's definitely bold. Font weight bold. Like this. Now the button container will be a bit more interesting. So let's start with the background color of this green. Boy, I don't have this color. Let's try Spotify. Watching our stream since 1 hour ago. Nice content. Thanks very much. Yeah, I suggest going back and after that and watching it from the beginning and also trying to implement it yourself because you will learn a lot. But yeah, thank you very much for joining and watching. So I grabbed the color of the button. Yeah, I think it's perfect. No, I'm just kidding. The color is good. Let's say we need some height for it. Height will be 50, maybe. We will need a width which will be 150. Yeah, probably that's good. We will need to make the corners round. That we can accomplish with border radius 50. Yeah, they're round. And now we need to display the play button in the middle. and we need to center it both horizontally and vertically. So we need to say justify content center, and align items as well center. Save, and the play is displayed here, but I don't like this light gray. I would go with a white. I think I would go with 200. Yeah, maybe 175. Yeah, what's wrong with this? The font is too big here. Let's go with 20. Thank you for this great content, bro. Why did you pick TypeScript over JavaScript for this project? Yeah, I picked TypeScript. Generally, TypeScript is the same as JavaScript with just types added. So it's just safer to use TypeScript, and I want to teach you guys the right way. And it doesn't mean that TypeScript is harder than JavaScript. It's just you can write basically JavaScript in TypeScript. So yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, what else? Some spacing for the general container, padding 20. Yeah, to have some space here. I don't like, I think that the text and the button needs more space. So creator container, it's this one. Let's add margin vertical, or even just margin 10, and yeah, it has more room to breathe here. Got it, thanks. Yeah, again, like you can do the same thing as I'm doing here in JavaScript. You will just don't need to declare these types. So instead of props double dots types, you will say just props, and that's it. That's already JavaScript. Yeah, I think that's good enough for this screen. The name of it, the songs are, I think, pretty big, but and the image, but we are good. We are good. The button is bigger. You say so. Let's go for the button, and for the height, let's say 70. No, that's too fat. Sorry, 60. Yeah, probably that's good. I think we have everything on this page. All right, so we are done with the album screen. We are done with the album screen. Let me drink some water. How do you guys feel? How is it going? Are you following along? Everything all right? So let's see. Yeah, we develop the song list, which displays a flat list of songs here underneath. And then we develop the list header component, which we send to the flat list and is displayed on top. And that's everything for the album screen. Now, the last thing on our list today, guys, the player widget. The player widget is displayed every time we play a song, and the widget is displayed just on top of a navigation, of a bottom navigation here, and it's always visible. So from that widget, we see which song is currently playing, the title and the name, and we can like the song and we can play and pause the song. So yep, that's the component that we need to build right now. Actually, if we look at it, it's pretty similar to the list, song list item. However, yeah, the name and the artist is in the same line, and also we have these buttons. So we will probably just take list item component, adjust it to fit our needs, and we are good to go. Whew, okay. Like, yeah, probably 15 more minutes and we are done with the widget and with the UI. So one more thing. Yeah, our ideas is saying that unresolved variable name for the album, and that's because our album type does not have a variable name defined and by a number of likes. So to fix that, let's go to types, album, and say name is a string, by is as well as string, and number of likes is integer. It's a number. Yep. There is no integer here. So if we save and we go back to our index, yeah, we see that our red arrows disappeared. Now I would also go and delete these comments because our code is pretty self-explanatory and we don't need it anymore. I think you can hear my dogs barking outside, right? I have a couple of them. So let's close everything and start developing our player widget. So as I said, it's pretty similar to the song list item, and I think we can start working from this, and we will copy paste the song list item and say player widget. Yeah, let's open it, index, and we will rename a couple of things here. So instead of song list item, it's gonna be called player widget. The same here for the export, the same for the props. Yeah, it will receive a song, it will display it there. What else? Yeah, right now we need to display it somewhere on the screen, and then we will adjust the styles to display it the same way as here. So where to display it? Let's check our bottom tab navigator, or to display it. Yeah, let me think where to display it actually. Let's try to display it in the app component, like in the top component that we have, because it should be visible on every screen. And let's try to display it here and see how it goes. So player widget from components, player widget. And yeah, after the status bar, let's say player widget. The player widget shouldn't receive a song. The player widget will be able to get the song by itself, and we will implement this fetching of a song in the next week. But let's go, and for the player widget in the props, we don't need the song. Actually, we don't need any props because player widget is very independent and it knows how to render itself. The song, we will just declare a song variable and hard code it here, that we can take out from album details, songs. Let's take this one. Okay, if we save, yeah, if we save, we see this yeah, this widget here, which is not exactly what we wanted. Let's try to fix this using styles. So for the container, we will go into the player widget styles. For the container, let's say that we want to display position absolute. And okay, we see it on the top somewhere there, and let's say that the position will be somewhere on the bottom, and we need to define like how high from the bottom. And let's just try with a random value of 50 and see where it displays. Yeah, it displays yeah, right here, but it doesn't have any background, so that's why we see something below. For that reason, let's say background color black to not be able to see through the widget. Let's save. Right now it's better, we can see through the widget. But now let's play a bit with the position. Like, we understand that it should be a bit higher, so 60 will be enough. 70. Yeah, I think we can see through here a bit, maybe 65. I still can see some pixels there, so I would go with 64. Yeah, perfect, it's there, right? Everything okay. And the width, as you can see, it's not full width, and the width is just to be able to display the titles and so on. So let's declare width 100%. Save, and now it display full. To be able to see, let's define it as red, and you'll see that it's until the end. Go back to black, and yeah, now we can see the widget there. That's good, we position it where we need it to be. However, we need to work a bit on the styles of it. So yeah, first of all, I see that the color shouldn't be black, but should match the color of this background. So I think that's we can do that by importing colors from constants. Our constants are here, so we have our colors. One more up, constants, colors, So instead of background color black, we'll define colors dot dark dot background, or might be background. No, it's not background. Where do we get this color? I will try to match it, but let's have a look in the navigation. If we define it here, bottom active, no, we define the active tint color, but we never defined the color of the Tab Navigator itself. Okay, let's try to match it ourselves. So I would go with 0, 0, 0, and from here I will press this one and move it a bit to the top. Save. It's too light. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting process. Yeah, I think I matched it. Yeah, I think it's perfect. Okay, on here we see that it has a border on the bottom to be able to distinguish it between the Tab Navigator. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Border width will be, let's go with 1. Border color will be solid black, as I see here. We can't see, but if we say 5, will we be able? Yeah, we see that it's there. Width 2. I think that screen is too small, but it's there. So if I make it a bit bigger, I can't move it up. Yeah, you can see here that the border is there, so it separates that bottom Tab Navigator from the player. That's good. Let me put it back like this. Okay, we have that one. Right now we need to display the name of a song and the artist in the same line and not in 2 separate lines. Okay, we can do that. Let's just have a look at this right container. You know what? If we just delete this right container, we will display them in different, like in the same row, because our container is set like flex direction row. So that's what we want to achieve. Yeah, we see them here. The only thing that we need to do is to align items on the center. So they will be in the middle of a line. Align items, center. Save. Yeah, they are here. The title, font size, let's decrease it to 20. They're the same size, but it's not even 20. I think it's 18. The title is bold. Font weight, bold. Okay, let's define some margin. Margin 5. Margin 10. On the on the image here, margin right, let's define 10 to separate more the image from the title. Yeah, we see here a lot of space. And the last thing that we need to display would be the like and play pause button. Okay, that we can accomplish by first of all checking the icons on Expo icons, yeah, on this website. So play, which play do we need? No, first of all it's hard, and yeah, we can import it from ndesign, and it's called hard O for outline and just hard for a full hard. The widget missing a black shadow on the upper, the widget missing a black shadow on the upper. Actually it has a black shadow, but because the background color of this component is black, we cannot see it. Okay, so as we said, like we need to import ndesign for the icon, and design from expo vector icons, and design name. The name of that is hard O. Like that. Size 30. Yeah, it display there with black and color white, like that. Yeah, we'll play around with sizes, but I think I like it already. So with a play button, let's again go here, check play. Let me check which kind of style it has. Spotify. Yeah, it's very simple, very minimalistic. I think it's from Font Awesome, this one, without round corners, without anything. So let's import Font Awesome, Font Awesome, and name is play. Yep, like that. So we will need to do some positioning here. So we see that let's focus on this container without the image. So this is the right container, and here we see two parts, like again, like the left part and the right part. And if the screen size will increase, we will see more space between these items, like here between them. That means that their positioning is space between, which means that align them on different sides of a screen and put all the space between them. So if the screen is very big, it will display like far apart. If the screen is smaller, they will get closer. And that's why we need to put both like these two text into a view and these two icons into a view. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do it in a view like this. And here view, yeah, we'll define the style shortly. Styles will be styles.icons container, and for this view it will be name container, name container, and also everything should be inside the new view. styles dot write container. So for the write container, let's go into the styles, right? Yeah, we have write container here. Let's delete and we'll see what we needed. Write container, we have name container. And we have icons container. So the first thing, write container will be all the widget except the image. So what do we see here? We see that we need to place the children with space between them. So on opposite sides of a view. This means that for the write container, we will say, first of all, justify flex direction row, and justify content space between. Save. Also, the thing is that the write container doesn't expand till the end. So let's try to give it a flex 1. And now we see that it expanded till the end. And we see a issue. We are losing some of the container here. And we see that we have some margins here. Like the image is not starting from the actual left. That means that we have like this margin that is messing around. Let's delete that. And probably we will also have save. Yeah, we deleted the margins, and we need to add here 15 because we don't have margins now. That's gonna be 79, I guess. Yeah, now it's better, and now we see the icons here. For the name container, what do we need to do? We need to display them into the same line because right now we see that they're in different lines. Flex direction row, save. Align items center, save. We are in the middle. Good. Icons container. Flex direction row. Good. Align items center, save. Good. Now yeah, let's define a width for the icons, for the icons container. It's there are two different options to define a width here, and to say that a icon should be displayed with space between. Yeah, I think that's a good way. With I don't know, 100. We'll see how it looks. And justify content space around between or even around. Save. And I think it looks pretty good. What do you think, guys? Does it look similar? Yeah, I don't see anything else that I can improve right now. The widget that looks very good, and the thing is that we can see the widget everywhere where we go. So if we go on the home screen, if we go on the search, on other tabs, on the album screen, everywhere we will be able to see this widget, because it is displayed, it is rendered in our topmost component, which is the app component, and we defined an absolute position for it, which means that it doesn't, yeah, it's displayed always on the screen on the same position, which is 79 pixels from the bottom here above the navigation. So guys, I think that's it for today with the UI of Spotify. I'm pretty tired already. We managed to do quite a lot. We started with initializing the Spotify clone project, with displaying the bottom tab navigator with different icons and different pages. We displayed the album component, we displayed the album category component. A lot of components was today. So home screen, album screen, which will display the songs in that album that we can press. And when we press, it will start playing in our player widget, which is displayed everywhere on the screen. So next week we are gonna implement actually playing songs and listening to them. User authentication, so only authenticated users will be able to use the application. You're gonna see how easy and super nice the authentication is provided by AWS Amplify service. We're gonna create the backend GraphQL API to store the data about all the songs. We're gonna also store all the songs in a S3 bucket on AWS. That's the storage solution from AWS. And also we will gonna connect our UI with the backend that we were gonna develop. So that's everything for the next week. Yeah, without further ado, let's end this stream. Thank you very much for joining. Please let me know down below what you think about this live stream. Was it clear for you? Was it useful? If you are struggling with any problems, if you encounter or are stuck on any part of this, please write down below in the comments, and I will try to help everyone. Yeah, what else? Let me know your feedback. I'm pretty interested on what you think about these guys. And yeah, subscribe to the channel, of course, like the video, share it with one friend. My voice is already going because I'm streaming for 3 hours. Yeah, guys, as always, stay hydrated, right click